Thank you, Brock.
Microphone down.
All right. Thank you, Brock. I'd like to welcome all of you to the First Universalist Church of Rochester, where we are called to nurture the spirit and serve the community. I am Worship Associate Dolores DeLumba, she, her, and leading worship with me today are Reverend Michelle Yates, she, her, Kitty Forbush, Worship Associate, she, her, Joanna Connolly, Worship Associate, she, her, Tom Williams, Worship Associate, he, him, Patty Goodwin, Worship Associate, she, her, Elizabeth Oster, Worship Associate, she, her, Dr. Brock Tresvold, Music, he, him, Jack Cunningham, Tech Assistant, he, him, and Karen Labraco, she, her, on our online ministry team. See how many people it takes to get us going in a new year?
That's good.
If you are here for the first time this morning, we especially welcome you. Thank you for making it to this worshiping community. We have a visitors form that can be found in the chat for our folks online, and that can be found in your pews for folks in person. Please fill out the form so we can offer you a welcome beyond this worship service. Before we take a moment to turn to our neighbor, let us take a moment to turn towards the camera in the back and to greet our online worshiping community. Please offer a wave. If you are online, please pop into the chat to offer a greeting. To our online community, please wait to share joys and sorrows until later in the service, so they'll be visible to those here in the sanctuary. If you are here at First Universalist, let us take a moment to turn to our neighbor this morning and offer a greeting. Now, let us rise in body or spirit and sing together hymn number 38, Morning Has Broken. And this hymn.
Good morning. I'm Kitty Forbush, and these are words from Molly Hausch Gordon. We gathered together this morning tenderly, like drops of dew on grass, hopefully, like gathered raindrops in a cloud, gleefully, like water rushing in a stream to the sea, deeply, like groundwater pulled up from a well. We gather from every direction for another year of growth and depth, another year of companionship and hope, another year of learning to love this world. We gather like the water that joins us across all creation, the water that connects us within and without, merging and flowing across the entire world. So, dear ones, let's dive in and worship together.
Good morning, friends. It's so good to be back with you. So today, for our service, we are using one story. Last year we used 3, and this is part of the ritual that we've done in the past. And after each portion, each of the 3 portions of the story, we'll have a pouring of the waters, where I will invite you forward to share a bit of water either that you brought with you this morning or from one of the pitchers here. So there can be 2 pourers for the one basin, or we can bring to you, if you want to raise your hand, ushers can bring to you our portable pouring station. Our story today is We Are Brothers by Yves Nadan and illustrated by Jean Clavier. Here I am, facing the rock. From the water, it seems even bigger than in my memories. Gray, immense, solid, a wall. Every summer at our family's lake house, my big brother and I swim to the rock. Every year, he jumps off while I watch and cheer, too afraid to even try. This morning, while my brother and I were walking to the water, he told me it was time. I was big enough. It's your turn now, he said. Not now, I thought. I watch as my brother swims to the rock, climbs to the top, and then runs and jumps without the slightest hesitation. He yells all the way down and splashes into the water beside me. With force and grace, my brother had flung himself into the air. He always made everything look so easy. He is cat. He is bird. He is fish. Not daring to show my fear, I gulp and swim to the bottom of the rock, where the pine branches touch the water. Nervously, I take hold of one of them and pull myself out of the lake. The tree branch feels warm and rugged, familiar and encouraging even. To my surprise, the path is so clear. Left hand on a root, right hand in a crevice, push with my left foot, grab a branch with my left hand, lift my right leg to stand on a slab, pull myself up with both hands on a big root, and stand on top of the rock. I am cat. Each of us has these challenges, these problems that we come against that we think, I'm not ready yet. I'm not sure I'll ever be ready yet. But life pushes us anyways. Where have you this summer, since we last met, encountered a surprise? Perhaps a challenge that something was harder than you expected or easier than you expected. Something you confronted that brought up all these fears of your past. Or something that was easier than you thought it was going to be. At this time, I invite you to come forward to pour the waters and to consider the surprises, the challenges, and perhaps the successes that have come to your life in this past summer, and the ways that you might consider this story as part of your story. And remember, if you would like, one of our ushers can bring our portable pouring station to you if you raise your hand. Good.
I love the story.
It's a good one. Oh, thank goodness. Okay.
As I always like, it's absolutely beautiful artwork in the book. That's what I love about children's books.
Good morning. As Michael comes forward to light our chalice at First Universalist, and you light chalices in your own home, will you join me in saying our chalice words in unison, followed by the affirmation of faith and the doxology. May we be a people of welcome, here to grow in heart and mind and spirit, and may... Thank you. Please rise for the affirmation of faith and the doxology. Love is the doctrine of this church, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve humanity in fellowship, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony, the source and meaning of life, thus to be covenant with each other and with all.
Today, as we celebrate water, I'm going to tell you the story about Old Desert Pete, words by the Kingston Trio. I was traveling west of Buckskin on my way to a cattle run. Cross a little cactus desert under a hot, blistering sun. I was thirsty down to my toenails, stopped to rest me on a stump. But I tell you, I just couldn't believe it when I saw that water pump. I took it to be a mirage at first, it'll fool the thirsty man. Then I saw a note stuck in a baking powder can. This pump is old, the note began, but she works, so give her a try. I put a new sucker washer in, but the leather might be dry. Yeah, you'll have to prime the pump, work that handle like it's a fire. Under that rock, you'll find some water I left in a bitters jar. Now there's just enough to prime it with, so don't go drinking first. You just pour it in, pump like mad, buddy, you'll quench your thirst. Well, I found that job, I tell you, nothing ever looked prettier to my eye, as I was tempted strong to drink it, 'cause that pump looked mighty dry. But the note went on, have faith, my friend, there's water down below. You got to give until you get. I'm the one who ought to know. You've got to prime that pump. You must have faith and believe. You've got to give of yourself all you're worthy to receive. Drink all the water you can hold. Wash your face, cool your feet, but leave the bottle full for others. Think kindly, Desert Pete. So I poured in the jar and I started pumping, and I heard a beautiful sound of water bubbling and splashing up out of that hole in the ground. I took off my shoes and I drank up my fill of that cool, refreshing treat. I thank the Lord and I thank the pump and I thank Old Desert Pete. You've got to prime the pump. You must have faith and believe. You've got to give of yourself all you're worthy to receive. Drink all the water you can hold. Wash your face and cool your feet, but leave the bottle full for others. Thank you kindly, Desert Pete. Today, as the offering is given, let's remember Old Desert Pete and leave that bottle for the rest of the people that will arrive. Today's offering will now be given and gratefully received. You are invited to give online by scanning the QR code in your pews or to drop an offering in the offering basket. For folks online, please click the link on the chat to give to First Universalist Church. Thank you for your generosity. Every second Sunday of the month, First Universalist takes up a collection of food for the Nestor Street food cupboard. If you brought food, could you hold up your hand high? Our children or ushers will come around and collect it.
So the youngest brother arrives at the top of the rock. Pulling himself up on that path that ended up being easier than he expected. Finding himself to be like a cat in the climb. So here he was, legs shaking. Turning around, the water seems so far away. Too far. A breeze makes me shiver. But even from the top of the rock, I can see my brother's eyes just above the water, believing in me. Not now, I think. What if I slip? What if I miss? What if I die? Not now, I whisper to myself. Breath, heart, breath, breath, heart, breath, breath, breath. My brother's eyes, heart. Now, I take a few steps back, running toward the edge of the rock, and I leap into the sky. Everything seems to stop. I am suspended in the air. All is still, silent. And then I am yelling, my arms circling, my legs running in the air, and my hands stretch for the sky while my feet call for the water. My eyes find my brothers. I am bird. I invite you into a reverent time of sharing our joys and sorrows as a gathered community. If you would like to, you can place your hand over your heart to be able to focus on listening from a heart-centered place. As Kitty pours water into our pitcher, from our pitcher into our bowl, and Patty will read aloud the joys and sorrows of our gathered community. And I believe the joys and sorrows of our online community will be shared on our screens. Of course, I don't want to drop it.
From Kitty Forbush, two joys. A joy for all the love shown in this church, like Newcomb Losh, providing such beautiful flower arrangements, because it's stellar. To have choir back, and Brock here full time. There are two sorrows, one from Joanna Conley and one from Marty Eggers, both involving remembering the people of Morocco, experiencing their dreadful losses, and we hold them in our hearts. A joy from Michael Scott. Shipped the 5th edition of my text to the publisher this week. And had a great 64th birthday on Friday. Happy birthday, Michael. From Tom Williams, a stellar joy. On Saturday, September 16th, our granddaughter Emma will marry her fiancé, Jorge Graja? Is that close? In Albany, New York. And I have a joy. On Thursday at the Genesee Valley Quilt Club meeting, the president read a letter from Maui. It seems that one of the things that didn't get touched in Maui was the quilt shop. And we sent 10 comfort quilts to the quilt shop, and they sent us back a thank you note that they're going to distribute it to people to provide some more hope. Out of the ashes. May all be held in the heart of love.
And we all join in pouring out our waters for the joys and sorrows each of us here are experiencing. I invite you to come forward and pour waters into the pitcher into the bowl from the two pitchers, or to raise your hand for our portable pouring station. Our online folks are invited to pour waters from your home as we join in pouring out our waters for our joys and sorrows. May all be held in the heart of love.
We now enter into a time of prayer and meditation. An ode to water. O many gods of water and healing, Poseidon and Neptune, and all who know the depth of this earliest element present from our birth, essential in our daily life. As we wash ourselves, our clothes, our lives in your power, as we see our shimmering reflection and are filled with health and healing, O precious water, from oceans, rivers, lakes, streams, creeks, and even faucets, you soothe our anxieties as we sit by you. Sip a cup of tea or watch raindrops on a puddle. Your power rejuvenates us and gives us purity and peace. As you carry us to distant lands and adventures and bring us back again one to another, help us remember, no matter how far the distance, how deep the fathoms,
Our longings and strivings are made one by your power and possibility. We bow in gratitude and thanksgiving for all we possess because of you. It's weak. Now join together as we sing the hymn 123, Spirit of Life.
Splash! And water. All of a sudden, I am bathing in the black and the stars. I am alive. I am home. I love this picture. I am fish. I break the surface and roar. You did it, shouts my brother. He claps his hand in mine, his eyes shining with pride, and we both know what we're going to do now. We are cat. We are bird. We are fish. We are brothers. The end. Perhaps you came in here carrying a grief or a joy. Perhaps your heart is on fire for a cause for justice, and yet your spirit and soul are weary and yearning to know that you are not alone. Perhaps you're worried about a challenge that you are facing and wanting to celebrate an achievement, like both that our story did today. So much to release into the waters. As we gather at the river today, may we find the healing and the hoorays and the community to hold our hopes and our hearts. Let us come forward one last time to pour the waters for our griefs, for our accomplishments, for what we might need to set down and share. Come forward to pour waters. either in the front of our sanctuary or to raise your hand for a portable station. Online folks, you are invited to pour waters from your home as we join here in reflecting on whatever it is left that we have to pour out of ourselves and share together. One of my favorite ways to explore or exegese a text is to imagine, who do I connect with in the text? Whether it is a sacred text for any tradition, a sacred modern text, or a dream that you might have. What is each character speaking to you? If each character were a part of yourself, what are they saying? So in this story, We Are Brothers, who do you relate to? I'll be honest that as a child, I definitely was more of the younger brother. What's going to happen? What's the worst? Trying to think of all the possible situations that could happen and how I was going to deal with them, and of course, never feeling up to the task. Will I slip? Will I miss? Will I die? Were often thoughts of my childhood. I wonder who it was, because I know there was someone whose eyes were there for me. Whose eyes did I find over the surface of the water, believing in me, knowing that I could do it? Because I know they were there. I know there were many, many teachers and mentors and neighbors and church beloveds who gave me that look, that I was loved, and they believed in me. And with that love, I was able to be transformed into perhaps a cat or a bird or a fish, to embody all the qualities of that person that I wanted to be, that I really was, but I couldn't be without the heat and warmth and care of their love. In the proposed Article 2 for how we look at our values and belief statements for the UUA, one of the values is transformation. How we as Unitarian Universalists not only are open to, but seeking and believing in the process, the spiritual and sacred process of transformation of ourselves and our own lives, of our communities, and the wider ideal transformation of our world. And I think, what is it? What is that magic spark to remember as we go into these transformations? One, it's that fire, that love, that belief that someone gives to us, and like in our story of the water and Desert Pete, that we give to someone else. That trust and faith and generosity. But there's one more thing that held me back for many years. And you might remember Reverend Kathy Turicki. She did her internship at First Unitarian, and I did my internship as a UU minister at Strong Memorial Hospital as a chaplain with her. And Kathy was a golfer. And I kept trying to put into words when I was talking about this very thing, this moment, like our character did today, of just taking it all together, your breath and your heart, and you go back in your rear and you jump, and you just do it. But you have to do it all the way, because if you hesitate for just a moment, it might not get all the way there where you want it to go. And she said, oh yeah, you got to commit to the swing. So I don't know if you're a golfer, but apparently she's had a few lessons, and I love this, that you can't golf big kid golfing, not the putt-putt that I do, because I just do a little like boop, and that's fine for putt-putt. But if you want to really golf, if you want to really transform that ball all the way over to there, you have to imagine like the professionals. Like you can't just go boop. You gotta go all the way around, which seems really strange. And I'm not a golfer, and I'm probably doing it all wrong. But you have to commit that you're not just going to hit the ball. You're going to commit to the swing. You're going to go all the way, and that's the vision, right? When I'm going to go in this, and I'm going to commit to being as loving a human being as I can't just go, boop. I've got to commit to the swing. When you decide that this is the task, this is the item that's so important, it's not just halfway. I'm going to give this everything, knowing that nothing's always going to work out perfectly. Things are going to fall apart. But if you're trying to hit a ball or catch a thing or do anything, if you hesitate or do it halfway and you don't believe in yourself, then it's just kind of blah, 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 blah. But if you're like, no, I'm going to do the best. I'm going to push out there. I'm going to do the big ta-da. I'm going to splash. Whatever that looks like and means to you. And for me, the other thing I learned in my chaplain residency was anger is energy for the work. And I thought my supervisor was crazy. But that idea of whatever energy there is in you right now, whether it's anger or worry or anxiety, think my body is powering me This is energy. It is giving me the energy I need to do the thing, but I have to channel it in the direction that I want it to go. I'm nervous about meeting new friends, and I channel it to send myself to them and say, hi, this is who I am, as opposed to like, hi, I'm back here somewhere, and maybe someday you'll meet me. We do the best we can. We are all imperfect beings. But the way forward for transformation is in many ways a leap of faith. And so I invite you, as you go forward into the days and weeks and beautiful, exciting church year ahead, considering your goals. This is always like New Year's for me. This is where I'm like setting my goals and what was last year like and where am I going. To find that goal that sizzles for you, that brings out the fire, that if you tell your friend, they're going to go, oh yeah, that's good, you should do that, you'd be good at that. And then commit to the swing so that we can all celebrate what we have grown, how we have grown, and what we have achieved together. Because that's the most important thing. None of us do it alone. Our characters today didn't do it alone. We do it together. And what a wonderful beginning to our monthly, for our worship, seasonal worship theme of belonging together. How do we belong together? And how do we find where we belong together? May it be so. Blessed be, and amen. Please join me in our final hymn, number 100, I've Got Peace Like a River.
I've got peace.
You can tell I'm a religious educator and I just can't help but do the kids' hand motions that go with the songs because they're really cool. Please stand as we extinguish our chalice flame this morning, and let us read together the words printed on the screen or in your order of service. We extinguish this flame, but we keep its light in our hearts with its message of love and justice, taking it outside these worlds to the world we live in until we are together again. As we close our service this morning, I invite you to place a hand over your heart. And if you're joining us online, I invite you to put your view to gallery view, that you might see the faces of those who are joining you in our online community today. May we be reminded here that we are more than we are, that we are more, there is more inside of us than we know. May we be reminded that here and together in community, we are certainly more than we are alone. Here may we find belonging together. May you know that you are loved, and may you go and be that love to the world. Amen. Please.
Sorry, Jack. Thank you. Just before the postlude, I want to invite anyone who might be interested in choir. We're going to rehearse for a few minutes after the service. So I just want to give the opportunity, if anyone's ever been curious about choir, wants to come check us out, please stick around and come sing with us. I hope I'll see some of you there. Thank you.